Everyone is part of a team, whether they want to be or not. One person's actions can make or break the flow, can explain why this thing failed and why this thing was achieved. How do you personally affect the way a team moves in the direction of their goal? How do you personally affect everyone else around you, and what do you do to contribute to the team? I have worked on teams that have lasted less than a week, that we have done the goal required of us, and we've gone our separate ways. I'm also on a team that's been together going on 2.5, 3 years, and we work seamlessly together through changing goals, changing circumstances, and always are looking for that next step. We will find out what makes a team, what a specific goal is, and the steps in making a team. A team is a group of people that work seamlessly together to complete a task. The acronym TEAM, Together Everyone Achieves More, explains this dynamic. If everybody works together as one unit, understanding the goal and working together to achieve it, the process in which they do this will become faster, will become less likely to diverge, and will be noticeable by people outside of this team. A team is one identity. It is a group of people. It is a group of people that know what they want to accomplish and are single-mindedly focused on achieving this goal. A group of people a group has multiple identities who would collectively like to achieve this goal to help improve their own standing as individuals. So while they might be working towards a task, they are not doing it for the team or for a certain outlook. They're doing it for their own personal gain and growth. The kind of people on your team matter. A chain is as good as the weakest link. So if the weakest link on your team doesn't know how to start a fire, well then you need to know how to start a fire, or they don't know how to make copies, or they don't know how to do a layup. These things are detrimental to your team's goals in mind. So when looking for the people you want on your team, make sure you know what their high points are and what their low points are, because collectively it would help grow each other by teaching each other how to do these things, and it will identify what you need to work on as a team. A team also needs a strong leader, someone who will focus the team's eyes on what they want to achieve. If you want to win every game in the basketball season by 30 points, then every practice needs to be on reinforcing this goal. And it's the leader's job to make sure the team is actively working towards it. The people you have on your team also need to know why they're on the team. So your goal needs to be SMART. It needs to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. By being specific, it states a specific measurement of what is going to happen. It clearly defines, with no ifs, ands, or buts, what you are setting. It needs to be measurable, so you need to have here's where we're at, and this is where we need to be. Without having these two things, you can't measure and make pinpoints in between the beginning and the end goal. It needs to be attainable. You can't be, oh, we're going to go to space in 3 days. It needs to be within the team's limits. So you got to take a step back and see, what is the team capable of doing? Okay, the team is capable of doing this. Well, then let's stretch their boundaries and their knowledge and challenge them, and we're going to come to this big, and we're going to make this their new goal. It needs to be relevant. It needs to be, hey, this is what we all or wanting to achieve. It needs to be a good mindset of everybody on this team. It needs to pertain to everybody, and it needs to be time bound. You need to have a date when you're like, if we don't make it at this point, then it's likely never going to happen. Not saying it can't, but at this point, you got to really look at it and really measure if it's attainable or not. These goals need to be shared amongst the team. So if your group of people don't believe or don't understand why they are working towards it, it will not work. The goal won't be achieved, and the team won't be able to achieve the goal. So your group of people needs to completely understand why they are achieving this said goal. And the team needs to be motivated to do so. They need to have personal impact and personal play inside this goal. If they don't, they're not going to want to do it. If they don't see why it pertains to them, then it falls off. It could be, oh, we're going to go and donate this much food to shelters. Well, why should it pertain to them? Because it helps your community. Well, then now everybody's on the team, and we're going to go and help do the shelters for the community. The final step in having a successful team is going through the phases of a team. So once you have your goal that everybody understands, and once you have your group of people, now you have to put them together. This process, the stages are storming, forming, and performing. So first, everybody gets together, everybody gets the goal, and everybody goes together in different directions, not knowing which way to go. Then they start defining a leader, defining their roles, and understanding the goal and its importance. This is the norming, starting to understand and flow together. Forming is when you start working towards the goal, where there's less bickering and less misunderstanding, and they're working together to move towards this goal. And performing is the pushing and working and moving together to complete this goal seamlessly with no trouble at all. These stages are the final motivation to get the job done. Whenever they're getting together and whenever they're forming, the set of motivation is how you get them to complete the goal and moving forward. And then the longer a team works together, the more likely they are to stay together, because their motivation turns to each other. Well, they're all liking it. Well, they're all going to get together and they're all going to do it for each other. If the proper preparation is done beforehand and the team hits the ground running, knowing their impact on this team, then whether it's for a short period of time or for a long period of time, they will successfully complete the task. They will become family, they'll become best friends, they'll become trusted friends and family. It is important whenever you are put on a team to know your part. That you are not there for yourself, you are there for the team. What you do impacts everyone. So knowing how to act and how you are expected to act helps. So when you come into a new team, ask what's expected, ask what they need done, and be prepared to accept and continue on helping this team.